As I've had more experience doing different things across the board, seen a lot of things that are kind of distasteful in terms of what we are told in society. I grew up being told, hey, if you do well at the educational system, you're sort of set afterwards. You know, you're set for life afterwards. Get a good job based off of your grades, etc., etc., and then you can just win. Again, this is an example of brainwashing. It's just not true. It's an absolute barefaced lie. We have plenty of examples of people who haven't had any kind of traditional education, hasn't gone through the traditional education system, that have absolutely stormed the scene and done super, super, super well for themselves. Simply because they've had the drive, hunger, the discipline to go after what it is that they wanted and figure things out and take those L's as they were going, succeeding and moving towards what it is that they wanted to do, right? Not an easy path, not an easy ride by any means. But because they had the necessary qualities and skills, they did really well for themselves, despite not having traditional education. Too many people are told this BS lie that by going through this particular traditional system, that they will get XYZ result and it will be enough to set them up for life. It's just a lie. It's not true, okay? So if you were watching this, now you know, especially if you're younger, and you know this, now you know that's not the freaking case at all. Okay, what the traditional education system gives is a basis to sort of work off. It's basically just a small, thin, kind of flat foundation in which you can use to build off of in specific niches and things like that. But for the most part, a lot of these things work in a set way. There is a set path, a set way to do things, an expectation with each of those paths, and they have to be done like this. If you walk outside of that, then there's trouble. There's comeback, there's consequences for doing so. I've faced this a number of different times because I'd say I'm a creative, innovative person. So I think very laterally, and there are a number of different ways that I do things that achieve different results, either the same or better, usually, because that's what I'm measuring and I'm looking for, ways to improve and iterate. And I've faced backlash because of that. I mean, you'd think in many ways, better ways to do things would be accepted, right? And welcome. But a lot of the time, when there's a set path, it has to be done this way. This is what is expected. Going outside of that gets you backlash. It gets you, like I said, consequences, doing things outside of the mold. Even in Japan, they've got that saying, what's it, a nail that sticks out gets hammered down, right? Because they've got a set way of doing things. Any innovation outside of that is punished. That's the way a lot of the world works. And that's real talk. Okay, so you're being brainwashed, told, hey, you do this and you get this result, you get a good job because you've got these good grades and blah, 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 blah. I'll tell you right now, the key factor in doing well in any particular area is experience, right? The number one is actually courage, but experience, if we're talking job sector, experience matters more than any grade. You've done the actual task. There's nothing better than doing the actual task. Nothing trumps that. If we're talking cards, that's the freaking ace. And if you're using the Joker, that's the Joker card, the secret weapon, like that. It's the top. You can't beat experience. So if you can get into those areas beforehand, experience diminishes the grade. Like, the grades don't even matter. Are you going to employ an A-star student in any particular topic over someone who has done the task and achieved fantastic results actually doing the task? Which one would you go for? I personally would go for the top student who's done the task. They may not have got the best grades, or they may not have any grades at all, but they've done the task to a fantastic degree consistently, time and time and time and time again. That shows understanding of whatever it is more than any grade ever will, ever, because they've done the actual thing to a high level. They've proven it. They are proven, battle tested. Going through the educational or traditional educational system is not a marker for success at all. It doesn't mean you'll do well outside of the traditional education system either, because a lot of the people in the traditional education system, they're not necessarily people who are battle tested or who have done the thing and have experience in the thing. And that's a big issue with the traditional education system. Another area is women. That's a big one. Because a lot of guys have been told women are sugar, spice, are everything nice. The truth is they're human, right? The truth is they're human. They can be very evil. They can be very vindictive. They can be very hurtful. They can be very sly. They can be very deceptive. They can be good people and they can be nice too. They can be supportive too. They can be nurturing too. They can be fantastic examples of good women too. You know what I'm saying? But we aren't shown, told, or exposed to the, let's say, bad characteristics of women or bad examples of women enough in open conversation enough. It's not allowed to be talked about. It's not allowed to be allured to because that goes against the narrative. The narrative. I said again before, in society, there are ways things are done. You go outside of that, you're punished for it. One of those is the narrative. The narrative right now is that women should not be talked badly about because they're sugar, spice, and everything nice. That's the brainwashing. That's not always the case. There are good examples of women. There are bad examples of women. That's the truth, right? So if you are looking to enter into a relationship with any particular woman, best get to know who she is. Because like I said, there are good examples of women and bad examples of women. A woman who has respect, a woman who is supportive, nurturing, truthful, faithful, a woman who will pull you aside in private and say to you, you're out of line here, here, and here. I don't appreciate that. Let's have the conversation as to how we can both do better and improve in future. Good example of a woman that has respect, that isn't going to be sly, isn't rug pulling, isn't doing ish behind your back, that you can trust, that you can count on, that you can rely on, that will help build you up as much as you build her up. You know what I'm saying? Respect should be on both sides. You should be supporting her and providing for her, being there for her, being truthful to her, being respectful for her. Same way she should for you. Not talked about enough. And when it is, you're labelled toxic or the backlash, etc., all this kind of stuff like that, because it's outside of the narrative. You know? This is the lane. We shall go down the lane. No one shall go out of that lane. So there's a lot of areas that we're brainwashed in society. Here's a massive one, right? Here's a massive one. The news. This is why I don't watch the news. The news will lead you to believe there is no good in the world, that people do not do good things, that there aren't examples of good people, that there isn't support, there isn't love, there isn't care, that there isn't people that just care about each other, whether they know you or not. That's what the news will lead you to believe if you watch it daily. The news only reports negativity. Any positivity that goes on is barely reported on the news. That will get no airtime, barely any airtime. You'll get sports and bad news on the news. And that's why I don't watch the news. It's not a holistic report anymore. It's a focus on negativity and what makes money. It's a business at the end of the day. You used to have news whereby you would hear good stuff on the news. Actually, you would hear it on a daily basis. They would have, the negative side and stuff like that. They'd get that out of the way first. And then you'd have like sections where they say good news. This is what's happening in local communities. Here's how we're improving in this area, X, Y, Z, etc. Now it's sports, maybe breakthrough technologies, and those are a small percentage of the news. And then it's just negativity. So I don't watch the news. More brainwashing. And it will brainwash you and make you believe that the world is just a really negative place and that there's no good people in it. And that's not true. That is a lie. So there are a lot of things due to experience and seeing it and hearing it, all that kind of stuff. There's a lot of that goes on in society, all right? And it's why, one of the areas of brainwashing that went on as well when I was growing up is that society, we're looking out for the people, right? We're supposed to be improving as a society, etc. I have enough knowledge to see that technologically we are improving, we are advancing, right? There are opportunities now to make a lot of money, potentially, in a number of different areas. Technology has totally transformed people's lives, right? You can speak to people across the other side of the planet very easily now. You couldn't do that. You couldn't do that before. You know what I'm saying? Technology is crazy now. It's absolutely nuts. A lot of people that may be watching this take this for granted. You can speak to people on the other side of the planet, face to face, like that. It's easy. Via text, via calls, video chat, instant messaging, online, for free. It's nothing. It is nothing. I could do it right now and it would take me 5 seconds. That is insane, fam. That is insane. If you think back in the day, it would take you weeks to sail to another continent to speak to someone. Weeks. Probably even longer than that, months some places. And you had to have good navigation skills and you had to know this and that and be able to navigate via the stars. People who've sailed those routes before, crew, resources like a ship, etc. All this kind of stuff. We could just text that now, or we could just press a button and FaceTime someone now. Like, it's a madness. It is a madness. Like, technology has just totally transformed. It's insane, and it's still transforming, and we've got AI and all this kinds of other ish now. It's ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? So there are good advancements in etc. in society. I want to say the infrastructure. Infrastructure is another area, right? We've got running water, we've got electricity, we've got heating, all these kinds of things, like straight to your door. Delivery, food straight to your door. Just the apps or whatever, different services, taxis, Uber, all this kind of stuff, straight to your door. The infrastructure is ridiculous. That's moved forward massively, right? So there's a lot of advancements in infrastructure, right? But when I look at where all that has come from, it's not necessarily the gov. It's entrepreneurs, it's people that have been innovative in our society. It's people that, again, like I said, have broken out of that narrative. This is the way that we are going to do things. And that's that. It's people that have broken out of that and thought, hey, wouldn't it be cool if, let's do this different thing, let's do that, let's try this, let's throw this at the wall, see what sticks. How about we do things instead of like this, instead of like this? And that's how we've got all of these services and the infrastructure so quickly and rapidly too, because there's more people like that due to evolution in technology and other reasons. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, with Gov, but it's super slow, freaking painfully slow. And sometimes I do question some of these things, like, is it in the people's best interests, etc., etc.? Is it really though, When you look at some of these things, do you question that? I feel like in a lot of areas back in the day, it kind of was, because you had jobs that lasted longer, like lifetime style jobs, if you wanted. Now you don't get that. It's more dog eat dog. And again, that's down to business owners more so than gov and society. Where's the link between gov and the business owners though? We've got you an in places here. We can set you up with education here that matters because you're gaining actual experience doing the thing, etc., etc., etc. That's more coming into universities and things like that now. It wasn't so prominent back in the day. But saying that, at universities now, you're paying astronomical prices for that in. Absolutely insane. So you're in mad debt even before you enter the job market. So there's a lot of these things that I'm like, are these the best way forward? Is there brainwashing going on? Do these people have our best interests at heart? Most likely, or most of the time, I'm not even going to say, but you got to remember that these institutions, etc., are a business. They may be selling a product, not necessarily having people's best interests at heart. You know what I'm saying? At least in some areas, that's how it seems to me. So what can you learn from this? You could definitely learn that the educational system's a lie. You can't rely on grades and this, that and the other to get you the win. That's more based off of experience and education in the right areas, such as what are the areas that are going to give you a good return? Where do you want to go in your life? What do you want to achieve in your life? How do I get that experience in that? Rather than pay thousands and thousands and thousands to the educational system to be taught by people who may not have had experience or long-standing experience in those areas, and to get grades that maybe an institution doesn't care about as much as experience. So maybe you should just go and get the experience from the people that are doing the actual thing and not paying thousands to an educational system that might not get you the experience in the actual thing. You know what I'm saying? Like 3-4 years in the educational systems, that's a long time to be educated at whatever thing. Like if you can get into doing the actual work with institutions that actually do the task, 3-4 years, that's priceless. And compared to that in the educational system, it's way up here. It's a different level. So however you do that, maybe that's worth considering. Going straight to the horse's mouth. I would do things differently now. That's what I would, So there's a lot of misconception. There's a lot of deceit, in my opinion, thrown around in society and stuff like that. There's a lot of brainwashing going on. It's not necessarily true, And I also want to balance out something that I said in regards to the women being like sugar spice and everything nice. I mean, I don't think that enough women are also taught certain things, like there's also equally a brainwashing going on for young women, in that a lot of guys are evil people, a lot of guys don't care about women. A lot of guys are women beaters, arpists, people that take advantage of women left, right and centre, malintent towards women. There are people like that. There are guys like that, for sure. There are. It's not the majority, but I think a lot of women, again, are brainwashed into thinking a lot of guys are bad people. A lot of guys are taught you shouldn't hit a woman, you shouldn't lay hands on a woman, you should treat a woman like this, you should do X, Y, Z and this, that and the other. Women are sugar spice and everything nice. A lot of guys are taught that. So if we're taught that, why would you think that the majority of guys that are taught that growing up, right, and we're fed the Disney, hey, you should be dashing, you should be charming, you should be this, you should be that, you should treat women with respect, all that kind of stuff. If we're taught that growing up, why would you think most of us are going to be bad if we've been fed Disney, told to respect, not hit a woman, treat them nice and this, that and the other? Like, why do you think a lot of guys come up, don't necessarily know how to talk to a woman and come with compliments first? Oh, you're so beautiful, you're so this and this, that and the other, da, da, da. It's because we've been taught that growing up, fam. We've been taught to treat a woman a certain type of way. Again, brainwashing, right? But yet on the flip side, women are taught that guys, these evil people that are here to take advantage and this, that and the other and X, Y, Z. It's mad. It's mad. It's just mad. Like, this is what I mean. Like, society's just messed up. Yes, there are going to be bad guys that are looking to take advantage. Yes, there are going to be RPS. Yes, there are going to be woman beaters and stuff like that. I honestly don't see that as the majority in guys. I honestly don't. Maybe I'm being naive. My friends group aren't like that. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like a lot of people are taught, hey, being women is mad prominent. Taking advantage of women is mad prominent. Doing this to a woman is mad prominent. Like, I don't see that as being the majority of guys, especially since we're taught to the contrary. So yeah, I just think a lot of women are being brainwashed into thinking a lot of guys are just straight evil. And that's why there's this divide and this disparity between the sexes, because we're taught women are nice, sugar spice everything nice. So we approach like that. Hey, lead with compliment, lead with this, that, this, that and the other. And this chick that's been taught that all guys are evil is like, get the feck away from me. I know what you want. I know you want to take advantage of me. I know you want to do these horrible things to me and this, that and the other. And there's this massive divide because we're taught these mad and brainwashed with these mad different concepts, and we can't understand each other. We can't see that we're both human. There are going to be bad examples of us on both sides, good examples of us on both sides. What's important is that connection. You need to build bridges of understanding between each other, but that's being skewed and messed up and destroyed with all this brainwashing and BS that we're told and taught. It's harder to get it right because there's that mist that's thrown in the middle, and that's not by accident. But what we should be doing is moving forward and trying to understand each other more, seeing things from both sides so that we can build those bridges of love and connection, communication between each other, and do better for each other, treat each other right, you know what I'm saying? Respect, no slyness, respect, truth, honesty, true monogamy, true caring for each other, about one another, you know what I mean? No matter our sex, creed, culture, race, religion, sexual orientation, etc., etc. You know, the brainwashing goes on. This is what I'm saying. Like, in the UK especially, you know, if it's not this enemy, it's that enemy. This group of people are bad. Now it's this group of people that's bad. Now it's this group of people that's bad. The reason why things are more expensive is because of this group of people, whereas before it was this group of people. And it's because this war is going on over here where we don't even get any of our ish imported into the country that things are so much more expensive. And it's because this is going on in Spain now that this is more expensive. It's reasons and reasons upon reasons upon reasons upon excuses upon reason. Brainwashing. It's why I don't care about immigration over here, because it doesn't matter if 10 million people come into this country and start working, or one person comes into this country and starts working. Taxes are still going to rise, same amount. It does not matter. It does not make a difference. There will be a reason, whether it is immigration, or this group of people, or this happened over here in this country, or this happened on Mars, or we saw this on the moon, or the world turns at speed that we have to put things up. There will be a reason. Common denominator is it's not true. It's like, it's just a reason. It's just an excuse. There will always be that. Someone to blame. That's how things work over here. So that's why I don't care. That's why I don't care, like, who comes into the country. I don't care, like, your background, your creed, your culture, and this, that, and the other. Like, I do care, because I am interested in that. I'm interested in where you came from. I care about you and all that kind of stuff like that, right? That matters to me. But I'm saying the excuse that they use does not matter to me, because they'll use anything. They'll use anything to explain why this has to go up or this has to be like this. It's just reason. Again, brainwashed. So there's a lot of stuff that I don't listen to anymore, because that's really, at least in my opinion, how a lot of stuff is in this society right now. You know? There's a lot of lies, a lot of mistruth, and a lot of misconception. Some of it, I think most of it intentional. I think a lot of it on the receiving end, the people, unintentional, because they don't realize that they've been brainwashed and been told lies. They're just reacting. And that's why there's so much divide, because they think this side actually believes and sees them like that. And they may, but it's not coming from them. It's they've been taught this BS by those unforeseen forces. You know what I'm saying? So I don't like you and you don't like me. We don't actually not like each other. It's just because of some BS that we've been told. And if I actually got to know you and you actually got to know me, we would be best freaking friends. We would be brothers or sisters. We would be chilling, maybe on a beach or in a cafe or whatever, pub, whatever, having a beer, clinch glasses to you, my friend, my brother, my sister, because I love you and you love me. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we need to move towards, that understanding, because that's truth. Because I'm asking you about your history, your past, your culture, all that kind of stuff like that. I want to know about you. I want to know who you are. You want to know who I am. So let's talk about that. Let's talk each other, get to know each other on the real, and then suddenly all the BS that's spouted out falls away, because I can see you're not actually like that. You can see I'm not actually like that. You know what I'm saying? There's so many cultures right now that would see a black person and be like, oh, he's a rapper, he's a gangster, he's this, that, and the other. Why would they think otherwise? Because that's all that's shown on media. That's all that's shown. He's either a rapper, a gangster, a dealer, or freaking, there are no other possibilities. Do you know what I mean? That's all that's shown. And this is what I mean, the BS, brainwashing, the lies. It's insane. So when you're about to tar a group of people with the same brush, when you have particular concepts of who group of people or a person might be, just entertain that there's a good chance you may be wrong, unless you've been exposed to a large number of those types of people and you've got real data to back up however you see them. But everyone's an individual. You're always going to have exceptions. So just get to know people and learn from there. Don't listen to it off of a media source with an agenda or another source with an agenda. Just make sure that you're doing your best to avoid the BS and the brainwashing. Okay, guys? All right, thanks so much for listening. Throw down in the comments, holler back what you're thinking, what you're feeling based off of what I've said. What are your opinions? I'll be really interested in hearing those in the comments. Okay, guys? So yeah, shout out. And it's a deep topic, man, but a lot of people are being, in my opinion, led astray. And it's by no means, in my opinion, a good thing. There's a lot of divide, a lot of hate, a lot of misunderstanding. And it's a simple solve, in my opinion. You know? But yeah, holler back anyway, guys. Shout out. The news and these media sources and all that kind of stuff, man, they ain't the one, in my opinion. So throw down in the comments, let me know what you think anyways. I'll see you guys for the next video. Take it easy.